No, it needs to absorb. Yeah, I see Marion. Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie, for this interesting talk. And my question is about the definition. What is chronic mastitis? And you said that, but I'm a bit confused with my definition. So my definition is twice over 200,000 cells. Is that your definition too?
Yes, that's my definition. If we talk about the calculation percentage chronic intramammary infection, it's twice. So 2 consecutive measurements. I know in some countries, I think actually Germany has 3 or more sometimes, and then above 700,000. But let's say worldwide, and what we say, it's 2 times. That's to say, to calculate the percentage of chronic infections. You must be aware that chronic, in my opinion, it's not the best term. I would rather call it an existing infection, but we have taken that over from the people in the United States, the National Mastitis Council. So they say chronic, we say chronic. If you talk in function, and if you talk into what is a chronic infection, to say the cow has no chance of cure anymore, then we are more around that 3-4 times a consecutive high cell count. And that's most probably where your confusion is coming from. Yeah, so a cow with 2 times a high cell count does not mean that we immediately have to kill her. It means that we have to say, okay, what will we do? If you don't do anything, you actually take the decision to kill her, because it seems that she has little chance to cure thereafter. So that's where the confusion. Calculation-wise, 2 times. If we talk it into decision individual cow, then we talk about 3 times or more. Yeah, no? Yeah.
What is the taking time between the testing days? Is it always 4 weeks or sometimes 6 weeks between by the milk control?
Yeah, we have a variation. It will be on average, it will be 6 weeks. We have farms on 4 weeks. Here that's why we limit the number of farms. We say it needs to be max 6 weeks. And if we do the calculations cure rate and new percentage new high, we always recalculate or extrapolate to 30 days. Yeah, because otherwise you get in 6 weeks, you have more chance of a new infection. It goes the same way for cure. And then you have in 4 weeks, yeah. Okay, then I think that we are up for the next presentation. I see that the colleagues in the back are still sitting, so I will call him here, Sigmar and Bertus. They will give a duo presentation. I will prepare the presentation. Okay, this is the pointer if you like to use it. Don't touch the cable. I think that this is a very, very critical point. Ooh, be careful. Don't touch the table. Yeah. So you can use this micro. Maybe you can use this one if you want to have a separator. Ja, ik denk dat hier die kabel is. Ja. Perfect. Oh, fantastisch. So we are ready? Yes. So we have here 2 experts in vacuum level milk flow. So give us an update. What should we now do to reach and achieve zero mastitis, guys? Thank you very much. And it would be very nice if you can stand both here, then you are also in the camera. There. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't fall over the cable.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. My name is Bertus Bakker. I work for DeLaval in Steenwijk, and my job is the market solution manager for conventional milking.
My name is Sigmar Forsjan. I'm Bertus' colleague. I'm the solution manager for the Benelux for automatic milking systems.
The title of our presentation is Vacuum Level and Milk Flow in relation to other health, and why one size fits all is no longer adequate. And we will briefly introduce you our flow response of milking.
pointer is dit? Oh,
Pointer.
here.
Why one size fits all is no longer adequate? The presentation will mainly focus on milk extraction, where the milk is bought, so to say, and about our new flow responsive milking. And first we will inform you the logic behind flow responsive milking, the why we need it, and then what is flow responsive milking all about, the how, and in the end, what does it matter for the cow? What does it bring the cow? But yeah, the why, what is the logic behind flow responsive milking? And first, maybe some evolution over the years. Since the milk machine was invented in 1970, where we introduced the two-chamber teat cup with a liner and a pulsator, with vacuum driven. Well, over the years, improvements have been made, but still we milk our cows, all our cows in the herd with the same vacuum settings and the same pulsator with the same principle. But if we look over the years, yeah, cows have changed. And if we look at the milk flow rate, for example, for the American Holsteins in a herd, yeah, in 1995 it was 700 grams per minute, and in 2025 it was already 500 grams per minute. It's more than doubled in speed. So the cows have changed, but still our milking systems are based on an old principle with one vacuum for the whole herd for every cow with the same settings. Yeah, what is efficient milking all about? And let me yeah, explain our DeLaval push and pull model. This model might not be complete, but it's simply to understand and gives you an easy overflow. To create a milk flow, we have to deal with two main processes. On one hand, we have the milk push. It's the natural process in the cow. You have the milk release, the oxytocin release, pushing the milk out of the cisternal of the alveolar to the cisternal cavities, and that is what we call the milk push. So the cow pushing the milk to the cisternal cavities. And on the other hand, you have the milk pull, and that is what we sell, the milking machine. It's the vacuum level, the takeoff system, the pulsation rate ratio, the correct liner, the adjustment of the system, and that is what we call the milk pull. And now the trick is to balance the push from the cow, to give the milk, and the pull for the milk machine to get the correct, to balance that, and by balancing it, that you can create the best, the highest possible milk flow, and you milk the cows as fast as possible with the minimal forces yeah, on the teat canal. So you can win the milk quickly, complete, and gently by balancing the push and the pull in an optimal way. And important there is to keep in mind that every cow is different. You have a different fill of the udder, different teat canal dimension. So that's what we call the physical properties. So efficient milking is to accomplish by activating the milk push, by stimulating the oxytocin, and when the milk push is there, you have to apply the milk pull balance to the present push. And there is a simple drawing on the right. The sponge is the alveola. If you have the milk push, the milk is pressed to the funnel, what is the cisternal cavities. And when the milk is there, when the push and pull on the bottom, you can win the milk. That should be in balance. If you have the push and pull model still in your mind, and you see here a milk curve, you can ask yourself the question, why does one applied milk pull, one setting, one vacuum level result in such a milk flow curve? The black curve, the top one, is the sum of the 4 quarters, and you can see the quarters, some quarters milking a little bit faster, some quarters earlier done than the other one, the front quarters also sometimes earlier done, and it's resulting in such a curve. And it's not a flat curve. It's depending on the cow, because the cow's milk flow, the push, potentially changes during the milking. And then we have another thing, and that's the vacuum drop in the relation to milk flow. With a milking system, the milk is transported by vacuum, and each milking system has a different line, so to say. If you have to transport the milk from low, you have to set a higher system vacuum. If you have, for example, a low line, you can set the vacuum level a little lower. Because what we are after, we want to have in the teat and in a peak flow, we want to have the vacuum in a level around 33, 42 kPa. But this is resulting in, or can result that in the beginning of the milking, or when there is no milk flow, the vacuum might be too high. And when the milk flow is high, because of the vacuum drop, the vacuum can be too low. And that's a little bit the paradox in the vacuum dynamics. When the vacuum is needed the most, it's at its lowest, so in the peak flow. And when it's not needed, it's too high. So that can be when the milking is finished, or when you have bimodality milking curves, when there is no milk flow, that the vacuum will be too high. And that's just how the system works. So the individual potential for the milk flow, granted for full milk injection, is based on the management factors, the udder fill, days in milk, the milking frequency. If you have a fresh cow, she has a lot of milk and more udder pressure, so there will be more milk already in the system to milk. And it is also affecting on the autonomy of the teat and length of the teat canal diameter, how quick the milk can flow from the teat. So this is why when vacuum is needed the most, it is at its lowest and the opposite. It's caused by the biology of the cow and by the law of physics. And that is why DeLaval introduced flow responsive milking. And flow responsive milking, that's what we call the principle, is the umbrella. And under that umbrella, we have different solutions for different systems. And this is the solutions we have for the conventional milking systems. We have flow adjusted stimulation, and we have flow adjusted vacuum, or this is a combination of both flow adjusted stimulation and flow adjusted vacuum. And we call it DeLaval flow responsive milking. And what you can see here, or how it works, and that's good to know if a farmer is working with flow responsive milking, because also the milking routine is changed now. As soon as the cow enters the parlor, the farmer needs to clean her, prep her, stimulate her, and then immediately attach the cluster. And then flow adjusted stimulation starts working. It slowly starts to stimulate, and it slowly starts away the free milk that's available. And as soon as the oxytocin milk is there, we are switching to the main phase with a normal vacuum level. And if the cow is then in the peak milk zone, here with flow adjusted vacuum, when there is a high milk flow, we adjust the vacuum level for the vacuum drop to maintain a high vacuum level under the teat when it's needed. to gain the milk quickly, gently, and complete out of the cow. And then in the end, you can see we're switching back. So maybe 1/4 is empty. We don't want to expand a lot of vacuum over that quarter. We go back to the main phase, and when the cow is done, we take off the cow. So this is how flow adjust stimulation allows attachment before milk ejection and starts the true milking at the individual ejection. So it's depending on the cow. If you have a fresh cow, so it has a lot of free milk available, so the stimulation time will be shorter, and maybe a cow at the end of the lactation, the stimulation phase will be a little longer, truly depending on each individual cow. And flow adjusted vacuum, it compensates the vacuum drop and utilizes the full flow potential of the cow. When the milk flow is high, we adjust the vacuum so we can keep up the high milk flow from the cow, so we can quickly win, completely and gently win the milk.
Well, that's how we do it on conventional milking systems. Now we are switching over to automatic milking systems, our VMS, voluntary milking systems. The principle is quite the same, or the thought is the same. We compensate the loss of vacuum because where there is milk, there cannot be vacuum. How do we do that? We do that on quarter level in the VMS. So we constantly adjust the vacuum. We add some vacuum when there is a lot of milk. So the preset vacuum level under the T10 is always stable. We do that by sensors and some techniques that I will not bother you with today. If we milk, normally this is a normal curve. We see the milk flow when it's at its highest, that is already told it, then we always have a drop in the vacuum. That's pure physics. Where there is milk, there cannot be vacuum. How much we want it? Nevertheless, it will happen. What do we do now at DeLaval? In our automatic milking systems, we keep on compensating constantly the vacuum. So we are adding vacuum. That's why we have now on our automatic milking systems 2 vacuum levels. We have a milking vacuum and we have a system vacuum. The milking vacuum is the preset level under the T10 that can be dependent on the farm and the herd and whatever it is. Can differ from 39 to 43, 45 EPA, depending on where you live. And Germans are a little bit higher, Flanders are a little bit lower. By adjusting that and compensating that, because we have a higher system vacuum, we can always have the vacuum at the T end at the same level. Well, what does that mean for the cows, for the farmers? Because that's what it's all about. Udder health. We see the peak flow in the conventional milking systems. These are the results from the conventional milking systems. We see a higher peak flow, shorter milking duration, and if you add it up, a cow, we save her more than 7.5 hours of milking per lactation. So there's less teats there, stress on the teats, so the teat ends will be better, and better teat ends means better udder health, means lower cell count. What is the effect of flow responsive milking on the VMS? On an automatic milking system, you milk quite a bit faster, more complete, more evenly, so the difference between the first quarter out and the last quarter out is getting closer. But I think the main focus for us is we milk more gentle. We improve udder health by milking with flow responsive milk. That's our very short introduction for flow responsive milking. I hope I've triggered you to, I want to know more. Please find us during the pauses, during the breaks. We are here with the booth, and we'd love to talk to you about other health and flow responsive milking.
Is it okay? Thank you very much for this introduction. Indeed, I have heard the story already. We need to absorb it because we are most of the time no technicians. But it's so good that we can count